Today's video was written by myself and my friend Adam. Adam has played the betas for both of these games, so this video is informed and includes the opinions of someone who has already played both games and myself as a more casual player. If you're going to enjoy this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the Multiplayer Media Gaming channel for more gaming content like this. Also, if you're going to disagree with any of the statements or thoughts made in this video, feel free to let us know in the comment section below. This year, the two titans of the FPS world are waging war yet again, and only one can be victorious. Well, that's not strictly true, but we've got to set a tone, you know. Anyway, with these two games only being around a month apart, many people will only be able to afford one game at release or to put under the tree for the big day in December. In today's video, we're going to give an overview of each game, do a compare and contrast so you know what each game has to offer and what kind of experience you'll get from it. Hopefully this will lead you, the consumer, to being best informed when it comes to purchasing your new game. Let's start with Black Ops 4. The game is continuing with the focus that Call of Duty World War II had, with bringing the gameplay back to the boots on the ground experience and the greater focus on the shooting and movement mechanics. However, the futuristic mechanics of Black Ops 3 are also back, so that obviously gives the game a notably different feel to World War II. Some of the key changes to the game include implementing a class system similar to what we see in Destiny. There are a few more classes than that game, but that doesn't mean they're completely dissimilar. Each class has different abilities and will suit different playstyles. We've put a link in the description to a website that shows each class in a good amount of detail if you want to read up on them. I can say that this is a welcome change overall. It changes up the what is now very old COD experience by adding depth and strategy to the gameplay, which is a good thing. That's not the only notable change in the new game either. Black Ops 4 is the first installment in the series to use predictable recoil patterns on its weapons. This style of recoil system can be most notably found in highly competitive games such as Rainbow Six Siege, and it is hoped that the addition will help improve the skill curve and ceiling of the game's shooting mechanics. The previous recoil system just had the weapon simply return to the centre of your screen after every shot, which made the shooting easy but quite boring and lacking any great skill level. However, compared to games like Rainbow Six Siege and Battlefield 5 for the matter, this feels like an afterthought and almost a poor attempt to copy. The system is not that flushed out and recoil on most weapons is minuscule, at least on PC. If you were hoping that this change would make the gunfights in Black Ops 4 feel more like actual duels, well yeah, in short, it doesn't. One of the biggest changes to the multiplayer is the new healing system. In order to heal after you have taken damage, you're now going to have to make use of the dedicated healing button. The ability to heal is on a timer, so you won't be able to heal whenever you've been hit. This should encourage more strategic and calculated play compared to the previous games. However, there is a possibility the effects of this change could be a little limited, as the time taken to kill is so quick and the maps are relatively small. Basically, there's a good chance you'll die before you even get a chance to heal, but the top players will be able to take advantage of this new feature. Overall, it's a welcome change. The Battle Royale mode called Blackout is quite excellent. The best way to describe it is as a streamlined version of PUBG. Whereas that game is very military simulation based in its approach, Blackout is a lot more casual because of features such as weapons already including ammo when you pick them up. It goes a long way to making the game feel less of a drawn out experience and gives it a much faster pace. The experience you get in this mode is really fun. The game mode also has vehicles, which is a rarity for the COD series, especially since they have not only got cars and trucks, but helicopters too, which is another great addition. Will it have longevity? We'll touch on that later. In addition to the new Blackout mode, of course, the well-established Call of Duty multiplayer modes are here, and if you enjoyed them last year, you'll enjoy them again this. A real positive we found was the fact that kill streaks feel more balanced and are more difficult to earn, so will surely feel less spammy. Heist is the only other notable game mode which we feel is similar to Counter-Strike, with a round-based system and in-game monetary system for weapons and items. The more successful you are, the more money you have for better gear. The game mode is okay, but nothing too special. The last thing to note is that Black Ops 4 replaces its single player with the previously mentioned Blackout game mode. So no single player this year, which has proven quite a divisive change for fans. Personally, I haven't played a Call of Duty single player game through since the first Black Ops game, but for some I can see why this is going to be a big deal. It does feel like this is the way these games are going, and you'll have to decide if that change will affect your purchasing decision. In this video we want to cover as much of the features of each game as possible in detail, but we simply don't have the time to discuss everything. So we're going to quickly run through some other crucial points for Black Ops 4 now. Firstly, let's look at some of the other multiplayer features. The new gun still up system allows you to defend yourself at any time, whether you're jumping a wall or calling in a score streak. There's a new fog of war feature which, unless you have a specialist equipment or abilities, prevents you from seeing beyond a short distance on the minimap. If you play a lot of the game, you'll earn signature weapons by completing challenges. And finally, there's also the return of classic maps from previous games, including the legendary Nuketown, in addition to a number of fun, if a little uninnovative, new maps, but we're not going to go into any more detail on them today. Oh, and I almost forgot, zombies are back. Everybody loves zombies, and with it being 10 years since Treyarch, zombies, they're looking bigger and better than ever. A Titanic map, I mean seriously? Battlefield 5, which is set in World War II, is set to be the most immersive Battlefield experience yet, with pretty much everything now having its own animation. The game is also having a renewed focus on skilled gunplay and a much heavier focus on the team and squad gameplay. DICE has removed/tweaked a lot of the additions to the series over time that reduce the overall skill level and ceiling of the game, with the overall target being to remove randomness from gunplay. In this game, they are removing a lot of the bullet spread mechanics which were added in Battlefield 1. These mechanics were designed to limit certain weapons' potential at certain ranges by having random bullet deviation, but all it did was annoy players as it increased the randomness of gunfights and made it more luck-based rather than skilled. The game is now also using a predictable recoil system, and it must be said it is far better implemented than the one in Black Ops 4. The guns have a much more satisfying level of recoil to them, and the gunplay in Battlefield 5 is easily the best the series has had in a very long time. This massive improvement in gunplay is also due to change in another mechanic called suppression. The suppression mechanic was added in Battlefield 3 and was designed to make you/your weapon inaccurate beyond your control if you were being fired at but the enemy's player bullets missed. This was a way to buff and give a role to certain weapons like machine guns, as they have a far greater amount of ammo compared to assault rifles, which means they could do something really well relative to their amount of extra ammo. Another intended benefit was limiting sniping power by giving players a way to counteract them at range, as players could shoot at them and make it incredibly difficult for the sniper to land a deadly shot. However, all it did was reward inaccuracy over accuracy in gunfights. This has been changed in Battlefield 5 to only be a visual effect now and have no direct impact on your weapon control. This is easily the best change to the game. It simply makes the flow so much better and makes gunfights so much more enjoyable. Another hallmark of the Battlefield series that is not returning is grenade spam, and if you're a Battlefield veteran, you know how pleasing that is to hear. Two of the key features they're adding with this installment are the attrition system and the fortification system. The attrition system limits the player's ammo when spawned to a much lower amount, encouraging people to rely on squad mates or newly added supply stations to rearm, and it also limits health regeneration, so the player will only regenerate health up until a certain point and will require a medic or health station to return to full health. It's hoped these changes will increase squad and strategic gameplay, but the system still requires a lot of tweaking before launch. The second system, the fortification system, allows all classes to build fortifications such as sandbags and barricades on key areas around the map. However, it doesn't stop there. The support class in the game can go even further and build really cool features like machine gun nests. It is hoped that this will slow down the gameplay and make defending objectives more incentivized, and both the attacking and defending of objectives more fun. Out of these two new features, the fortifications has received much more praise from the community. Now at this point we have to talk about the multiplayer game modes, and this is where things start to go a little downhill. While the standard Battlefield game modes are in the game, including the beloved Conquest and the sort of new Grand Operations in Battlefield 5 is like Battlefield 1 Operations but just bigger and better overall, One game mode that is badly missing from the release version of the game is the Battle Royale mode. Although the game mode is expected to arrive in 2019, it is reported to have a maximum player number of only 64 and only be playable in squads. To put it bluntly, that is disappointing, and it isn't helped by the fact that Battlefield 5 seemingly doesn't have a great deal of content at launch. One great example of this is the quantity, or lack of available weapons, and so many of them are just reskinned from Battlefield 1. Go check out Level Cap's recent video on this matter if you want a more in-depth conversation. I'll leave the link in the description. The number of weapons isn't even our biggest concern content-wise, it is the lack of certain factions, game modes and famous battles and maps that are really disappointing us. At this point it's not difficult to believe the idea that DICE is months behind on the development of the game, and although we will probably see a lot of the content we feel is missing in the future, right now it just adds to some of the other negativity surrounding the game. The Battlefield series has never been known for its single player narrative, but Battlefield 1's wasn't at all awful, and the crew story was actually pretty good. Once again, Battlefield 5 will take the war story approach, but this game will attempt to look at the untold stories of World War II. The biggest criticism of the war story approach taken in Battlefield 1 was that, apart from the first tank war story, the rest were too short, which never gave you a chance to bond with the characters. If Battlefield 5 can improve on that area, then we could certainly have a pretty decent single player on our hands. At the very least, the Battlefield 5 single player will be okay, and if DICE have improved their story formula, then the mode could in fact be great. Finally, we just want to mention a couple of things in regards to the multiplayer and crucially some important game modes. Combined Arms is a brand new cooperative mode for up to 4 players. It's designed to occupy the space between the single player and the multiplayer, and will prove a difficult challenge for even the best players and most well-drilled squads. If you can't reach your goal, make sure you extract and get out alive. Tides of War is another one of Battlefield's ongoing live services, and is effectively the way in which you progress through the game. Essentially, the idea is that as you gain XP, you can use that to develop your company and classes to suit your playstyle. Tides of War is also crucial in the way that it has fundamentally replaced the paid DLC model, and as quoted on their website, will allow the world and gameplay of Battlefield 5 to grow over time. If you want to learn more about this, be sure to follow the links in the description. Finally, let's quickly touch on the maps that are in the game. We have only played some of the maps in specific game modes, but from what we have experienced, they are looking absolutely stunning, and Adam thinks they play pretty well. I can say the standard Call of Duty experience is still there, and if you enjoy that, you'll like or even love Black Ops 4. At this stage, although the multiplayer modes sometimes feel like they're showing their age a little, the experience is very refined and probably the best the series has had to offer in recent times. One of the major positives is certainly the Battle Royale game mode, which is a lot of fun and honestly feels as though it could be real competition for PUBG in particular. If you're solely looking for a shooter that you can waste some time on, wind down and not think too hard to play, Black Ops 4 will be a great purchase for you, and at this stage certainly feels like the more complete experience. Speaking from my own personal experience, as someone who wants to play shooters more casually, this will be the one I'm more inclined to go for. However, if you're like Adam and are looking for something more focused on skill with sophisticated and refined gunplay, Battlefield 5 is probably going to be the better option for you. However, as Adam stressed when he wrote this, the game certainly needs major tweaks, in particular to the attrition system. With that said, the game shows more promise than Black Ops 4 though, in regard to the game improving over time, and the fact Battlefield 5 has switched from the paid DLC model, which Black Ops 4 has retained, to the live service which you get with games like Fortnite and Rainbow Six Siege, really enhances this point. We already know we're getting after release free DLC, including the free war story, The Last Tiger. Although there's an argument that should have been included in the base game, but it's a start. Or the game should have at least been delayed to next year, even though that was never going to happen because EA needs to release their big shooter before the holiday season. Black Ops 4 will most likely win the release battle, but Battlefield 5 with a lot of work and quality free DLC could yet win the longevity of the war. In addition, With the COD series seemingly not changing up its yearly release cycle, the game will probably die out within 6 to 8 months, which is a massive shame considering the Battle Royale mode has the potential to have some really nice longevity. Yet, rather than release it as its own game and possibly to make it free to play to really challenge Fortnite, they've put it behind a AAA paywall, which is sort of understandable because their main aim is to sell copies of Black Ops 4. The only thing that they could do at this point to improve the longevity of the game mode is to release the Battle Royale maps for free and not part of the paid DLC, but that is doubtful. Anyway, let us know what you think though. Which are you going to buy and what do you reckon to these points we've made here today? Thank you so much for your time today. If you have enjoyed, make sure you smash that like button. It honestly really does help this video reach more people. Subscribe to the channel for more interesting and diverse gaming videos, news updates and playthroughs, and finally share this with a friend. Maybe a friend who just can't decide which of these games to purchase. This is the first video me and Adam have worked together on in this way, and the script ended up being well over 2,000 words, so it was a major project for a channel of our size. In this video, we have endeavoured to help you out if you are struggling to decide between the two, or just inform you a little of our opinions if you're interested in the games. But if we have made any mistakes, or if you just disagree with what we have said here today, please do let us know in the comments. A massive thank you to Adam, who created so much of the script and supported me in my editing and producing of both the script and the video as a whole. Thanks again for watching guys, and I hope to see you in another video.